This is music, and this is all about rock and roll. Welcome to another First Impressions video. In these videos, I share with you my first impressions of the many blind buys I've picked up lately. Let's slow down a little bit to begin with and look at some doom metal. This is High Warden's Astral Iron. It even comes with an obi, which is very interesting. So a while ago, they put out a release called, I think it's Land of Stone, as far as I remember. And that one is great because it's super barren sounding, but also very oppressive sounding because the production is so bottom heavy. This one is less bottom heavy, the guitar tone is less crushing, so it sounds less oppressive, it sounds less big, but it's still really good, I have to say. So it's traditional doom metal. You have a lot of just old school doom styled riffs and all that stuff, and kind of like slowish parts. And even with a less crushing guitar tone, it works really well on this album here. The bass is still quite prominent, so that makes it quite interesting too. Um, but one thing that I think is really cool is that they've peppered in a lot of quite fast uh, sections to their songs, like mid-tempo and even some up-tempo sections, and that makes for a very interesting dynamic. The last song even has some sections that are kind of bordering on maybe thrash metal speed, which I think is actually quite cool. The vocals are, I would say, borderline epic. We're not talking an operatic style of singing, but the vocalist I think, is trying to take his singing in that direction, and it actually does work quite well. It does add almost a kind of an epic vibe to this, I guess, brand of doom metal. But it's really good. It's solid, and I just like that they kind of peppered in some fast parts too. So this is definitely worth checking out. Like I think if you're not that well versed in doom metal, but maybe you are interested in getting into doom metal, this might be a good sort of gateway album, especially if you like traditional heavy metal and hard rock and all that stuff, because they have thrown in a bunch of traditional heavy metal elements too. So maybe it's a good gateway album into the weird and wonderful world of doom metal. Up next, we have this one here. This is Hyrax's Faster Than Death. Short, sharp shock. I don't even think this is half an hour of music, so it's a short album, and it's crossover thrash. Hyrax are like thrash metal legends. They're they are not as well known as they should be, in my opinion. Uh, they started out doing like almost like hardcore punk with some thrash, and then they crossed over into thrash. And on this one here, they're kind of going back to the hardcore roots a little bit. So this to me is kind of crossover that's like 50-50 thrash and hardcore. And it's great. Uh, just fun, fast, aggressive thrash metal songs with like hardcore riffs thrown in, of course. And the vocals are great. Uh, he doesn't sing that much in that high register that he did back in the day, but his vocals are still great. They still fit this music very well. And one thing I appreciate is whenever they go into some mid-tempo, more chuggy, mosh-friendly riffs. That's just really cool. So there are some parts that kind of have a bit of that like mid-tempo Exodus feel to them, which I think is really cool. But for the most part, the songs are fast and they're short, and it's just like going back to the heyday of crossover thrash. The production is modern. I don't think this sounds like an 80s or early 90s thrash metal. album in terms of the production. In terms of the music, yes, it does. In terms of the production, it sounds modern. But I don't have a problem with modern production style thrash metal. So, and I think it serves the music very well because it makes everything crisp and extra punchy, if you know what I mean. Great crossover thrash metal album by the legends that are Hyrax. And the last one we're going to have a look at today is this one here, Hyena, and it's called About Rock and Roll. It also has an OB right there. And this is straight up traditional heavy metal. It's solid. It's not innovative or groundbreaking or anything like that, but it is solid and enjoyable. And if you like your Judas Priest, your Iron Maiden, your Accept, if you like your kind of like US metal as well, it's worth checking out Hyena. I mean, like I said, they're not innovative or anything like that, but it's just that solid style of, traditional heavy metal. I don't know if it's like new wave of traditional heavy metal. Maybe it is. I don't know. I've also kind of reached a point where maybe I don't care if I just like the music. You know what I mean? But really good stuff. It's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of just heavy metal. So there you go. 3 albums. I obviously liked all of them as usual. Check them out on your own. See if you like him or dislike him. For now, thanks for watching.